This week's episode kicks off that Salmon got reincarnated as a slime with top 10 anime betrayals. Gavda, on one hand, did a really great thing, stuck up for his friend by saying the obvious, but on the other hand, my boy just exposed my other boy for his crush and his love. Then again, pretty much everyone and their mother already knew about the crush, but still, how do you get out of a situation in the most natural way possible after this trash bag is saying that just a nice little goblin be sexually harassing, and he's saying, what in the actual, I didn't do this, and Gobda comes in saying like, are you stupid? There's only one person my boy likes, and you ain't got the figure to back it, little girl. Go away. And I'm sitting here like, it's still gonna end in war, but goddamn, Gobda, there's a reason you might be my favorite character in this show. My man has no chill, and seriously, I just love his interactions. I mentioned it when I did my video covering Season 1, how a character like him could have easily been this disposable punching bag, and while he's not the strongest character in the show, he is quite capable in combat, and the way he navigates conversations is just hilarious and badass all wrapped up into one. What a great episode of Slime, I have to say. You knew we were getting into some intense territory after everything last week. Milim has been probably one of the biggest curveballs, and honestly at this point I would have to say she's probably manipulated, right? There's no way this is gonna happen, but seemingly it is. And then you have Clayman, just the whole idea of barricading our kingdom here, so Rimuru can't interact through communication, so by the time Rimuru gets there, is it gonna be too late? There's a lot of uncertainty, and yeah, if you really do look up the Winter 2021 anime season, what is it with declaration of wars, I have to say? Some a little more peaceful than others, but still, goddamn, Slime is not holding back. Really walking into this episode, the only expectation I had for myself was I hope something intense happens. That's simply what I wanted to see. Based on the setup that we had, it was time for something big to occur, and they delivered tenfold. I think the thing that kind of caught me off guard the most was walking in, like I said, I thought I wanted something intense to happen. But intense to me, walking in was going to be like a declaration of war, some action, some explosions, a couple of barriers coming crashing down. That makes total sense to me. What I wasn't expecting was this whole love scene where you have one man trying to chase down someone who he knows is never going to love him back, and then in comes the true love, and you're getting this romantic hugging scene, and it still ends in barrier catastrophe, and I'm just thinking to myself, only in Slime can you blend an episode like this where you have goblin sexual harassment, insane fight, hilarious moments, and this a love that can never be by the looks of it. It's just, this show has so much fun, and honestly, this delivered. I really feel like this episode delivered. Obviously, the theories and the speculations are going to get going. Obviously, you don't think the kingdom's gonna destroy itself next week, but at the same time, there's a lot of uncertainty, and with communication being cut off, and having this episode honestly be the first time we haven't seen Rimuru in Season 2. Have we ever had an episode where Rimuru has been completely cut off from the other characters? We probably haven't, I'm misremembering, but either way, it's not a common occurrence. How long is it going to be before Rimuru will be able to get in contact with these characters again? And even if he does get there, is he going to be able to blast his way through? Then you have the whole Milim situation. There is a lot of uncertainty, and these demon lords, Clayman, and all that are just causing chaos. And what I love about it is I've seen so many people, myself included, say, we want something big to happen. But we're already getting a taste that this is just the beginning. This is just the setup to the insanity that Season 2 is going to offer. And already I can hear the voice in the back of my head. It's very quiet right now, but I know as the weeks progress, that voice is going to get clearer and clearer to the point that I'm going to realize what it's saying was, you wanted chaos, you got it. Don't you miss the simpler times? Probably I will once enough pain occurs. This was a very, very good episode, and honestly, for as explosive as it was, the thing that kind of shocked me the most was how they initially navigated around three goonballs, these three stooges who are trying to invade and destroy this kingdom, and they're making their jab saying why is it that monsters are getting to live better than us? And I'm just thinking to myself, if your objective is to make me dislike them on a personal level, you have done a remarkable job. And to see the direction they went was such a scummy move. Honestly, one of the more innocent characters in this show gets claimed that he's touching butts and things like that and pushing her down to the point that she has this speech ability that pretty much anything that she says will become a reality. If she tells you to touch your butt, that's gonna happen. Or if she tells you to die, you're going to die. Until big badass bitches come in to say, yeah, this ain't okay, you're gonna get the hell out of my kingdom. What's interesting to me is that you can't really look at the cast of That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime and say, there's 2 or 3 characters that need to be on screen at any given time in order for the show to function. You literally took Rimuru out of this episode and let so many characters be the star of the show. Gavda could have easily been that side character that no one cared about. Hell, you get obviously the Hsieh content. All of those characters, they all hold a scene together as amazing as, honestly, Rimuru himself. And Rimuru's a very charismatic slime ball. I mean, just the idea of the constant evolution of facial reactions is absolutely amazing. So to have an episode like this showcase that, it could be a long time before they get to see him again. Or maybe it'll be next week. Or maybe we won't see them together in the first core of Season 2. All you know is that no matter what the cast balance is, we're going to have fun. There's no way you turn this destructive romantic scene with characters who, if you were to ask me to make a ranking list of my favorite slime characters, those 3 wouldn't be in my favorites list in terms of a top 10, but I like them enough that they can be the star, and I'm feeling that emotional weight, and I'm feeling like, damn, Demon Lords be kind of assholes right now, if I'm being honest. They're making hell where hell doesn't need to be happening, and honestly, I mean, when the villagers were starting to push back against the monsters, I was a little worried, but I'm glad that they had a sense of humor. You don't get to see that too often, generally, when you have the monsters and human dynamic, and you kind of have that hostility, that kind of prejudice and things like that. Once the humans start getting riled up, that's generally they're riled up and they stay riled up. So the idea that Gavda was able to have a little humor there to bring down the tension, I thought was great, because I honestly thought the Three Stooges were going to be able to just say, oh, he touched my butt, and if they punch back, that's great, but that's enough to start a war. And I'm thinking to myself, you gotta be kidding me. At the very least, the humans who were inside this kingdom when it got kind of barricaded in, at the very least saw them for who they truly were, a bunch of scumbags. And honestly, this one dude was just as much of a scumbag, with him licking his lips saying what he wants to do. And I'm just thinking to myself, you need a show that understands that you need to have those kind of vile personalities. And honestly, only one of them seems semi-decent, but even then is kind of twisted. And I love that, because if you're going to start declaring war, and That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime, and this series is notorious for having people say, oh, it's always too peaceful, when really it is just a civilization builder more often than not. And you introduce characters like these who are starting the process of declaring war. That's the type of intensity you want to see, and honestly, this was without a doubt the most enjoyable episode of Season 2 for me. I think it just kind of hit all the sweet spots, and the fact that you could make me say, this was the most enjoyable episode for me, and you didn't even put the focus on Rimuru, I really think goes to show that Season 2 has a lot to work with, and by taking the time in the first season, and even the intro, the first third of this core of Season 2, you've really established the side cast to kind of feel like they can be the main character need be, and you don't need Rimuru to hold their hands in order for it to be compelling. It was intense, it was emotional, and honestly, the idea of just the betrayals by the looks of it, and just the declaration of wars, where do you go from here? I mean, I'm really glad we took the time to flesh it out with the first 4 episodes before jumping into this insanity, because I doubt it's going to let up anytime soon, but I guess time will tell. Let me know your thoughts and feelings down below, and definitely your theories on where you think it might go with the remainder of the first core of Season 2. Do you think, some alliances are about to break, or do you think there's a big misunderstanding that led to even more misunderstandings that led to giant-ass wars? Let me know down below. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, share, support, and hit that subscribe button if you happy and you're around here. So until next time, everyone, please take care and have a good one.